Hey guys, so yesterday we talked about the situation with Godot Engine and how they made this particular tweet, which was seemingly in response to another tweet that they presented when asked for context, this one right here, that only had a mere 8 likes, potentially even less at the time that they responded, because the 8 likes is as of recording yesterday. Anyways, they apparently found that 8 like tweet to be important enough to make that other tweet, the aforementioned one, on their main Twitter account, which ended up causing them to get backlash from various people online, including a number of game devs, many of which were also blocked by Godot Engine for simply saying things such as focus on the engine and not politics. Another dev, for example, was blocked simply for asking them to focus on their engine instead of focusing on Twitter stuff. Basically, any sort of response that disagreed with them making that tweet, no matter how reasonable the response was, ended up with that person getting blocked. There was also this tweet from Pirate Nation that says, Godot Engine is also blocking people on GitHub. So the entire situation was getting crazier and crazier. And back on Twitter, by the end of the day, it seems like Godot Engine had blocked hundreds, if not thousands of people on Twitter, as well as hiding hundreds, if not thousands of tweets. And ultimately, this led to a response of sorts from the creator of Godot Engine. However, that's just some very quick context on the situation without recapping the full 8-minute video in the intro of this one, as we have a number of updates to go over here now. We have an official response from the Godot Engine Twitter account, as well as an update on the creator, and what seems to be a response of sorts from that apparent community manager running the Godot Engine Twitter account. Also, let me mention that it seems that I was saying Godot Engine incorrectly and have been in this video as well. So my bad for that. I think the proper way of saying it is Godot Engine. That's what I'll say moving forward, and hopefully that's correct. Alright, so onto the updates. Godot Engine retweeting this response from the Godot Foundation, saying, from the Godot Foundation board. The full statement reading, on Friday, we made a tweet that unexpectedly led to a wave of harassment directed at our staff and community. We unequivocally condemn this abuse. The volume of negative engagement overwhelmed our moderation efforts. While attempting to protect the Godot community, we mistakenly blocked individuals who were not participating in the harassment. The Godot Foundation Board takes full responsibility for these moderation actions. If you believe you were blocked in error and have not violated our code of conduct, please contact us with the form linked below. We are committed to swiftly rectifying any mistakes. We firmly stand by our mission to keep our community spaces free from hate, discrimination, and other toxic behaviors. The statement would include the second part that says, on community moderator Xananax. We strongly condemn the harmful language used by Xananax, moderator of an unofficial Godot-related Discord server. We want to clarify that Xananax is not hired by nor a spokesperson for the Godot Foundation. As an organization, we have our own official Discord server moderated together with new volunteers, vetted by our team. As covered yesterday, that Xanax person went on an absolutely bizarre and insane sounding rant. Once again, for additional context, please check out the prior segment. As for the statements that we just read from Godot Foundation, they've also locked the responses on their tweets so that nobody can reply directly. However, people can respond in the quote tweets, so we'll take a look at some of those, get a look at some of the public reception to these messages. First, another important update. Pirate Nation reports, Godot are trying to dox users by forcing them to send their Gmail email when applying for an unblock. An image included from their appeal form saying, please fill out this form if you feel that you've been unfairly blocked by the Godot Engine X/Twitter account. We will then investigate what happened and unblock you if deemed appropriate. Email, record redacted as the email to be included with my response, your X/Twitter handle, and please link to your last post replying to or mentioning Godot Engine, or copy, paste the content, as well as at the bottom a reason to unban you. So perhaps there's more in the form that's also getting cut off. This in of itself has now also become a point of contention, as some are arguing that giving an email address is not doxing, while others are arguing that it is. Others are a bit in the middle, saying that it's still an odd choice to make it mandatory to include your email address, and that they don't trust Godot with that information after seeing how they've been acting. As mentioned a few minutes ago, I also wanted to go back to the Godot Foundation Board statement and take a look at some of the public reception that they're getting. So let's take a look. Captain Topper saying, you know, this apology is worse than the Unity situation that boosted Godot in the first place. Shoji saying, zero accountability. Looks like I'll be switching engines and porting my projects elsewhere, and make sure to inform other aspiring game creators to avoid this engine like the plague. T saying they accept no responsibility for what happens on the quote-unquote unofficial Discord server that they promote on their website that says Xananax invited you if you click it. It's not on people to request unbanning. Your CM failed, and you put the onus on users. We're not idiots. Conversely, Mag says this is a great statement. Reinforce the project's position and principles. Acknowledge the error. Don't throw your people under the bus. Community management and marketing comms is a business function, not a platform. There are some other responses that are supportive of the message, however it seems like the majority of people are very critical of it. Regardless, that of course was just a small sample size. I don't want to go through too many of the messages. You can find plenty more over on Twitter if you'd like. As for that Xanax person, he actually made another tweet about this situation, talking about how in 2016 he was using the N-word, claiming that it was just very stupid jokes. What seems to be the context to this is a number of messages on Discord that people dug up of Xanax, using the N-word. Of course, you would have to see them for yourself and determine if you believe that they're jokes or not. And I'm sure you can understand that I'm not going to be reposting those messages in this video. Responses to him include, "Only sorry when you're caught. Funny how that works every time." Another saying, "You didn't deeply apologize for your most recent words. You're still the same type of person you were back then. Only now you're directing your anger against people you declare fascists by being one yourself. Sorry, but you're not an honest person." And once again, the more recent words being referred to there is the part that we talked about yesterday, where this guy went on some crazy unhinged rant, where he was insulting anyone who dared criticize Godot's recent actions. To be quite frank, unhinged hypocritical people like this should not be in positions of power. Because as we see time and time again, people like that all too often abuse that power. Funny Game Dev, who we talked about earlier in this video and yesterday, also responds to Xanax saying, "How about you apologize to me for calling me and many others who support Godot reactionaries and for wrongfully banning and blocking us? People only brought your near-decade-old slurs up to hold you to the same standards you held on to others." Moving on, we also have a very brief update here on the Godot Engine creator, who as you can see has since locked down his entire account, putting it into protected mode. And lastly, we also have an update on that apparent community manager who seems to be running at Godot Engine's Twitter account. That person Nat tweeting, "Hey, at Asmongold, can we get proof that you too take showers next?" This seems to be a response to a video that Asmon made on the situation yesterday. Asmon sees the tweet and responds with the requested image. To which Nat then responds as well, saying, "Granted, did not expect you to follow through, that's cool. Now that we've seen face to face, can you acknowledge that making content based off of other people's drama is not really doing anything good for the world? I know you won't agree, but hey, I made you read it." Some of the responses to Nat would include Valkamia saying, "Your activism has made my life as a gay man harder." And Nerd Wonder saying, "I don't think your actions have helped the world either. You seem sort of like a bully and very, very mean." Nat's also hiding a mass number of tweets that are responding to the whole shower thing. While some of them are just insults, others are like this one, for example, from Mr. Ors, saying, "Can we get proof you're qualified to be a community spokesperson for an engine used by thousands of developers? Or maybe proof you have the development community's best interest in mind? You know, the community that actually uses the product you're supposed to represent." That's just one example of the mass number of tweets that they're now also hiding on this account too. Similar to what we already saw going on over on the Godot Engine account. Yet this is the sort of person that they thought would be a great idea to bring on as a community manager. Really shockingly bizarre stuff overall. The whole situation is absurd. And that seems to be it for the updates. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you enjoyed my coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. Your support is much appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.